Welcome, everyone, to Chronicle 2, Session 1 of Dorks Are Dangerous. I am Johnny Patches. You may remember me as your DM for Chronicle 1, but I am handing those reins over to the man across the time zone.
Well, thank you so very much. Hello, everyone. This is Bruce. I'm your DM for Chronicle 2. And hopefully you had you've been able to listen to session 0, which we should have published by now, and we're moving into session 1. So with that, you've already met Johnny and you met myself. Let's go down the line and introduce the rest of the players for the Chronicle 1 of Chronicle 2 rather.
Kaylie.
Perfect. I will go first. Hey, everybody. You might remember me. I was Creed in the first Chronicle. Today, I am playing Nina, the druid.
Hello, everyone. I am Kirsten, or Kirsty, as they like to call me, and I'll be playing Vesper, the bard.
And hi, everybody. I'm Dave, or David, and I am new to the group, and I will be playing Lucian, the Goliath Paladin.
All right. And it is that simple. Is there anything else that anybody would like to add? Again, if we didn't say, like as Johnny said, rather, we are Dorks Are Dangerous. This is the beginning of Chronicle 2. Anything else, anyone?
Well, Bruce, I would like to formally apologize for anything I have ever done to you before this campaign, things I will do in the future, as you are running this, and I love you.
Bruce, the money is on the way. It'll be there next week, just so you know.
I was about to say, I can be bribed as well as persuaded.
I'll apologize for absolutely nothing.
And he's dead.
TPK.
Rock's
And I will be setting my money along on our patron.
There you go. That's a better way to do it.
I love these transitions.
Very nice.
If you like what you hear, then definitely hit us up on patreon.com/Dorks Are Dangerous. You can also find us on Facebook under the same name and also Instagram. If you don't like what you hear, also hit us up on patreon.com and we'll get someone better in this than us for the next session then.
Agreed. Well said. Well, all right then. If there's nothing else, then let session 1 begin. Tis days. Oh, that's going to be a great start. Tis days. All right, trying again. 3, 2. Today's adventure begins at noon, with all eyes set upon the bustling city of Bluemoor. It's early autumn, and the luxurious landscape before you is brilliantly painted with a hue rich in every color from the brightest of yellows and oranges to the deepest reds, sprinkled with a smattering of greens here and there. All doubled in splendor by their slightly rippled oceanic reflections. Very recent events here in Bluemoor, for which our party may or may not be responsible, but certainly have been associated with, including general public lewdness, theft, a recent and quite costly bar altercation, and not even to mention the seemingly intentional incineration by one of your party of the greatly loved and needed Lady Kate's quivering canals. The town alarm has been raised, and in your hastened departure from said brothel, you seem to have found yourselves on the main dock of this port town, surrounded by merchants and sailors alike. However, from up the hill you can hear many of the heavily armed and armored town guards shouting, "Over here! Over there!" as they're searching desperately to find you. Here upon the dock, at a quick glance, you see crewmen hauling cargo in the final moments of loading it on board the glorious sailing vessel laid before you. A few stand at the gangway, where the ship's bosun signs on new crew members. He blows his all-call whistle. "Look lively there, crew! We need to beat out the tide!" And the last few items are quickly brought to the ship's deck. Now you can begin to see the black plumes of smoke billowing across the town and toward the pier. A frail old man points his staff at the smoke and cries out, "The end is nigh!" He looks to your group and extends a long, bony finger directly at you, Lucian, and says, You! Guards!" You hear the guards of the town quickly growing closer. "Down here! Check the docks!" What do you do?
How far away are we from the ship?
I would say it's the longest dock on in the pier, so you're probably maybe 100 feet, 120 feet away.
And how far away are the guards?
They're still up the hill, but they are approaching. They're not sure where you are.
More than 120 feet away?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. With her two compatriots, which I assume are right next to me, you're all of a sudden going to see Nina start to raise her hand, and a fog cloud descends in a 20-foot radius at the end of the gameplay, where hopefully they can't see us from the angle, and kind of stays there. Hopefully the wind doesn't pick up, and she goes, "We need to get on the boat," and starts trying to pull them towards the boat.
I think... Go ahead.
Before getting pulled away by Nina, Vesper is going to whip out this loot that is generally strapped to the side of her dress, and she's going to crack it across the old man's bony, extended fingers, and just look at him in the eyes and just say, "It isn't nice to point. Didn't your mother ever teach you that?" And then walk back into this cloud of fog.
I was going to say, I think Lucian's a little bit distracted. So, as this man points his finger and says, "You," Lucian, I think, first is going to look at this man kind of like an angered look before drawing his sword and his shield, then turning around quickly and saying, Where is he? Where's the fiend?" Before he gets shuffled away by his companions.
You notice, as you're trying to move your group toward the end of the dock, near the gangplank, Boris is having a challenge because he keeps dropping his things. You have shackled him. He has been detained by you, Lucian, and he is, like I said, having difficulty carrying his armor, as he was not wearing it at the time that you found him in the brothel. There was the altercation. Things happen. Fire started. Here's where you are now. So he may need some help in movement, and he's not able to move that quickly. That's why the guards have been able to catch up to you so quickly and easily.
If you just let me go, I can make this a lot easier on all of us. I can just go that way, you can go your way, and we never need to run into each other again. I scramble to try and pick up stuff and maybe drop my backpack and snatch it back up again.
Lucian, you have been charged with keeping track of Boris. You are meant to bring him into the local command. Not here, however, and he's made it quite difficult on you.
So I think Lucian is, knowing how Lucian is, I think he's going to just kind of go, "Well, you know how it is, friend. I mean, I can't just let you go. I mean, you're very important. It's very important you come along with me, and if I could only trust you a little bit, you know."
You have no reason not to trust me.
Lucian, if you drop that rope, I'm going to cast produce flame in his face. Vesper, will you help me grab the things this idiot is dropping?
That's not very nice. I've never done anything to you.
She just doesn't even acknowledge you.
Wait a whole minute. weren't you the one who threw that really expensive alcohol on that flame that caused the entire brothel to go up in a smoke? You're the whole reason we're running, Boris.
That
I
makes
think
no
you're
sense.
right.
Why would I destroy one of my favorite places in the city?
I think
Because
you're right,
there's 20
Vesper.
more just like that.
Yeah, that's what I haven't even picked out of those ones.
I think you're right, Vesper. My memory's getting jogged in a very specific way to this. So I wonder if he were to get a hustle, if this could be avoided with the current authorities.
Vesper's gonna nod, and she's gonna start picking up some of Boris's dropped items, as much as her arms can really carry, because she is a smaller woman, and so she'll pick up a helm or something and hold it in her hands and try to usher them closer to the boat.
You know, fellas, actually, Boris, I don't think I need to worry about you trying to escape if we're on the high sea. How do you feel about becoming a sailor?
Does this make your job easier?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Then-
I think everybody wins.
Then I'm against it.
I hate you.
No, I can live with that.
We really don't have time
Nice.
to be bickering right now. We need to be on this boat. But does anyone know how to sail?
I can steal the boat if we can get on it.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Are you guys thinking about stealing a boat instead of just joining up with an existing crew? Because I figure if there's a crew, they know how to handle the boat.
I like the idea of stealing a boat. That sounds far more interesting.
Nina, what do you think? Are we taking our own boat?
Is there another boat that's unmanned, DM?
The only boat you see, and it's a ship. It's a galleon. It's well sized. It's well outfitted. The crew, there's the deck is full of cargo. They've got a full rank and crew.
How far are we from them?
If have you been moving this whole time?
I've been trying to pull us with the car.
Yeah.
For sure.
I assume so.
So
If that's the case, with Boris kind of holding you back intentionally at this point, I would say you're easily probably only about 30 feet now from the gangplank. They're starting to close up shop. He's the bosun is signing on the last few new crewmen. He blew his all call whistle, so that means they're getting close. Plus, not only that, but you can see the guards at the top of the hill. They're starting to make their way down.
okay, I'm going to grab Nina. I'm going to take my coin purse, all 90 gold of it. I'm going to put in her hand, like, go stop them, stall for time. We need to get on the boat. Whatever they pay, they can take all of it, but we need to get on, please.
Vesper nods, and she's going to dash off and start flagging down the nearest gentleman that she sees.
Are you trying to the nearest gentleman? You mean near the end of the gangplank, or somewhere else on the pier on the dock?
A seaman. Whoever is currently last calling and registering the new
bosun?
crewman on the boat.
Yes. Yep. Gotcha. Yes. So okay, yeah, you disengage from the group. They're still trying to move, in the fog. As I assume the fog is probably lighter where you are as you try to direct it. I assume.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep it heavy behind us, but lighter in front of us.
Yeah, I would assume that makes perfect sense, obviously. So as you leave, because the gangplank and that isn't quite in the fog, right? So that they can continue to do what they need to do, and so that you can see them. So as you move out of that kind of that edge, if you will, of the fog where you were, you've disengaged from the group, and you are now standing in front of the bosun, while the rest they're still kind of on the edge of the fog, trying to take cover of it, as the guard now has come up to the edge of this strangely placed fog, and you hear that same old man yell out, "They're over there!" And he's just pointing in some direction. He doesn't really know because he sees the fog. And you are in front, like I said, you are in front of the bosun.
Sir, I would like to gain passage on this ship. She's like out of breath. She's breathing a little bit hard, and she just takes this moment to actually like swipe her hair back, and so he can get a full look at her face, and instantaneously this calm Just goes over her as she catches her breath, and she bats her eyelashes and looks up at the bosun, and she's going to attempt to just persuade him at first with the sweetest voice and say, "Sir, my dreadful uncle has done it again and made us late. We missed our last ship out, and I really have to get to my engagement within the month's time, or I'm going to lose out my inheritance. Please, will you give us passage for me and my comrades here?"
So the bosun looks at you. He's kind of slightly confused and says to you, "We're not a passenger vessel per se. We are more of a cargo ship. We do have a full complement of people on board."
Vesper will hold up the jingling coin purse and just say, "Then just consider us paid cargo."
How many of you are there?
There's just 4 of us all together. And, 5 if you consider the big man. But I promise he won't get any trouble.
Five?
What's your 5? 1, 2, 3,
No, there's
4.
only...
That's what I said. 5 if you include the big man.
Oh god.
Am I the big man?
Yes, Goliath.
1, 2. Oh, because he said that. I get it.
Oh, I get you.
Keep this. I love this.
Love it. Okay, yeah, we'll just edit that out because I said 5, and we'll know right where to edit it. So that's good. So we're double counting the big man. I get what you're saying. All right. 3, 2. Well, very well. It will be 200 ahead.
She's gonna look at her coin purse and look back up at him, and this time desperately try to persuade, her voice getting lilted, her almost musical, and she'll just say, "I have 80 gold to give you. That's 20 ahead, and I promise, once I'm able to get married, I will send you a full difference within a month's time of my marriage. Please, sir, this is so important."
Yeah, go ahead. Give me the first roll of the game. Give me a persuasion check.
Shouldn't that be deception? Not to
You know what?
actually
Sure.
GM. She's lying her
Sure.
teeth off.
Well, right. So he's going to look at the coin too. But either way, you can persuade or deceive, whichever you prefer. But she is trying to persuade him. He says, "Well, I could come down to 150 per head. So yeah, we could do that."
How close is Nina to them right now?
Yeah, like are we in earshot?
Yeah, you can hear all this. You're only 30 feet away. You're kind of hovering, waiting to see her take care of this.
Okay, does Fog follow me specifically, or can I hold it somewhere?
No, it's in that same place.
Perfect. Okay. I'm going to rush up, hearing him kind of go back and forth, and I'm not very persuasive, but I'm going to try. She goes, and she's got her owlbear cowl on. The hood is up, so she comes up and goes, "Sir, I don't mean to interrupt, but if you would, for my family," and she pulls out one of her earrings, which is a small blue crystal. She goes, "This is a star crystal from my family. It is worth at least 30 gold. And if not, the blessings that go with it. Would you take this as part of the payment?"
Look, I don't have passenger room. All I have is crew spaces.
Put me to work. I can mend sails. I can dissipate rain and water, the fog. We could be all of service to you.
Skills, I like it. Well, we need to hurry. I need to beat the tides. The tides are dropping. If we miss the tides, we miss our deadlines, and none of us get paid. We're heading to the south. It's a journey, but once we get there, all the crew get paid.
Of course,
Then
sir.
what are we
Right away.
waiting for? Vesper's gonna push the coin purse into the man's hands and just start walking onto the plane.
Oh no, you might need that. They're a rascally crew. Keep your coin. We'll have plenty when we get there. But I need your X on the line. And he presents you with the ledger, basically. So he's got, he just asks you to sign on one of the empty slots of the crewmen. And you can see there are literally only 4 slots left.
As Nina walks away, Boris casually turns away from Lucian and starts walking away as if nothing's happening.
I assume Lucian has like a rope or something that just like once it hits the end of the rope, he's going to give a little tug, just to kind of like, do you want to keep back a little bit?
So to more specifically describe this, he is shackled. You have put chains on his wrists. So he has a shackle, 2 shackles and a chain that are about a foot and a half between his 2 wrists. He has all of his belongings, his armor, his pants, his backpack, and his weapon. They're kind of in this mauled bundle, and so he's pretty fleet of foot at this moment. But you're hanging on to the chain.
Okay, perfect. Now, yeah,
he's trying to. So I assume you're hanging onto the chain. Are you hanging onto the chain?
I think I probably have it tied somewhere on my tied around my wrist or something, just in case I like zone out or something of that nature. Just kind of give a little end of
It would
like
make sense Vesper and Nina were like timed to you at some point.
Yeah, and I think with his size, it makes sense to just kind of use him as like a pillar, or like an anchor to keep the chain attached.
Wait, I really need to clarify something really quick. Yeah. Are you telling me Boris is leg shackled, hand shackled, with only his with only his pants covering his nether regions, and he's completely butt naked?
So he's got a loincloth underneath. Right, but it's a shorty loincloth. So think of it kind of like old school boxers. He literally has his armor and all of his gear in his hands. That's how quickly you had to leave.
We did get him in the brothel. Okay, got it. Lucian did.
You got him in the brothel.
It is exactly his moment.
Yep, and exactly as you described. You may or may not have intentionally incinerated this beloved establishment.
I will say, at the moment they got him in shackles and nothing but basically his pride, lack thereof, Nina probably did smile underneath her cowl a little bit.
Ooh.
Not in a ooh, you're good looking way, more of like a it sucks to be you.
Vesper, while that is going on, is just going to sign her name under the first line.
Excellent. He steps aside and points the way.
Yep, I think Lucian's going to walk over, probably give him the chain a little bit of a tug, and just kind of say, "Can I sign for my buddy here?"
I shake my head vigorously, no. I agreed to nothing.
I wasn't talking to you. I'm talking to the lovely person here.
Yeah, no, I'm not working. No.
Is he with you? This seems peculiar.
No.
Yeah.
He's a wanted criminal.
What? He's a wanted criminal?
Net.
Okay. Oh, no. Did she say a wanted criminal? No. They're lovers. It's the new thing.
What I mean.
It's just a lover spat. You see, he was supposed to be with her, but he was with him. And now we need to go.
Yeah, you see the chain thing, right? The chain thing is a thing.
That's a thing.
He's looking at you. This guy's he's about 6'2", pretty strapping guy, human, and he's looking at you, and he's
blushing.
He's shaking his head back and forth. You
Nina's
can tell that he knows.
And, tears in her eyes, and I'm sorry, it's a lot.
Do you have a problem with love?
The captain is going to have my head. Get on. We don't have time.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you.
I'll deal with you on the ship deck.
All right, come on, lover boy, let's go.
Fuck.
The guard now are in the middle of the fog. They are very close. You can hear their armor as they clang through.
Nina's gonna go up behind Boris and very subtly, so no one can see, is gonna put a dagger up to his back and says, "Please start walking now. This will get ugly for you otherwise."
Don't cut yourself. I walk. I don't know how much you're being paid for this, but I will double it if you let me go. I assure you, it won't be worth the hassle to keep me around.
Wait, are you guys getting paid for this?
Nina just kind of groans and
You're doing this for free? You're dumber than you look.
we get on the boat.
We're on the boat.
Excellent. Well, literally, the moment you step on board, they have the last few items are set down right next to you. There are crates all across the deck. They loaded very quickly. Some of the things are down below in the hold. This is a nice ship. This is. It's not luxurious like yacht level thing, but it's a nice ship. They take care of it very well, so you see, like I say, there's crates next to you. You do happen to notice, though, right next to you, that there is kind of a slightly ajar. Go look at. I believe one of you had a pretty nice passive perception.
I have a 15.
So yeah, you happen to notice that on this crate, as you walk up on board, and you're moving away from the railing so as to not to be seen. Mm-hmm. You move towards the center of the ship, where most of the cargo is, near the stairs, so you can carry it down to the hold. You'll see a crate that is slightly cracked open, and you might see a glint of something inside. That said, they pull the gangplank up. You hear the bosun blow the whistle again, and he yells up to the helmsman, "Helmsman, we are ready. Cast off." And you see people the crewmen, they're untying the ship. The guard, at that moment, reach the edge of the fog. And they say, "You, hold, stop there." And the ship does start to drift away from the dock. And he says, "Go ahead."
Sorry, Vesper's just gonna look at the bosun, and she's gonna bite her lip as she looks at the guards out of the fog and just say, "Well, we cheated on them too."
I don't have time for this. The captain's gonna have me head. For sure, I'm walking.
Nina's just gonna take some of the gold that he refused to take and give him 10 pieces, like a silent apology.
I perk up
in the eye. Oh, go ahead.
I perk up to see how much she's giving him and just try to calculate what I can rob him for later if need be.
He takes it, and he looks at you and he says, "All right, but you're going to tell me more."
Nina's eyes are down and says, "Of course."
Listen, friend, so the thing about polyamory that a lot of people don't understand, and that's going to be like the start of the tell me more later, is he's going to just take that as a, let me go ahead and tell you about what the lifestyle is.
Another time. We've clearly stressed our host. We should settle and get ready to help as we should.
He moves towards the edge of the ship to address the guard, as the guard are clambering to grab ropes or try and stop them in any way. They're grabbing the long hooks that they use on poles that they help to guide in the ships. They're trying to catch any part of the ship that they can. He takes the 10 gold that you gave him, and he throws it on the deck. Throws it on the just behind them, at their feet, on the dock. And he says, "Sorry, we must leave. We have a schedule to keep. You know it. Tide's coming in. I'll talk to you when we get back." And as he does this, all the people on the dock, they run up and they start gathering up the coin as best they can, and they're in the way of the guard, just barely out of reach of the hooks. And you set sail, and you leave the port of the wonderful town of Bluemoor.
Nina immediately collapses to her knees and releases. Oh my god! This is the most excitement she's had in a long time, and she was not built for it.
So who's paying you to bring me in? Or if you're doing this for free, why are you doing this? You can just let me go, What did I do to be arrested?
Nina's not talking to him. She's not looking at him.
There's a reason. I have no doubt about that. I just want to know what they're getting me for.
I think Lucian just kind of is going to look over and say, "You know what? I'm not actually sure.
So then I declare my innocence and think you should let me go. I'm an innocent man. I'm being framed."
That would be very unfortunate. I mean, you look just like the photo, though. You look just like the photo. I mean,
Well,
I'm pretty confident. And you were right where we were told you would be. So
that
Lucian,
means nothing. I'm always there.
Lucian, I can vouch for his appearance. I've seen him many a time in many a brothel I have visited.
I narrow my eyes and I look at her. Like, I don't know you.
Why would you?
If you're the brothel, you're obviously there for a reason.
Usually as a result of you.
wait, that was a brothel?
A temple of sensual pleasures, yes.
I mean, I was okay. All right, okay.
There's a lot of preying on knees.
Yeah, I thought it was suspicious.
Oh, is that what they were doing in the room? I thought they had sold me for sex slavery. It's just another convent. You could have just let me there, Nina. It was fine.
Nina kind of smiles like that, but it's a real hard smile. She's gonna get up and go find the deckhand that helped him real quick, if he's around still.
Well, I guess now that we're on the boat, I mean, so, Boris, surely you would know why the church would want you, right? I mean, there's a lot of things, but, like, did you do something that would specifically, like, make the church upset?
I agree to nothing. But you could tell me why.
So if you remember, I did read a number of the things that the town has been accusing you of. The public lewdness, the theft, the bar altercation. These are just the most recent events. These have happened repeatedly. General Lewdness is enough to put him in the stocks, at least.
It wasn't me. According to famous bard from Neo Kingdom, Shaggy, it wasn't me.
Hey Bruce, could Nina do a history check to see how far back she's equated his actions to the issues that have been happening?
Uh-oh. Yes.
Absolutely. I would
Because she
absolutely
would be-
give you that.
Because she would be the one that's like going in after him or before him and like basically hears all the gossip about it. So.
And here's the thing, as we've declared, you all know each other or very well know of each other. So you have been in the same vicinities, the same bars, the same brothels, various amounts of times. And it's been just a hit or miss here, just barely catching up to him there.
Would it be advantage then? Or
I would give you advantage.
Ooh, okay. That's a natural 19, sir.
Nicely done. Yeah. So are you looking to hear this from him or from me?
I will hear it from Jonny, the player of Boris. All the things that Nina has heard or would know about him and his actions.
With a 22, I think you get everything. Like, you get my entire rap sheet and then my history from the beginning, probably. Assault with intent to kill, maiming, robbery, extortion, public lewdness. The list goes on and on. Anything that you make up can probably be attributed to him at some point or another. I guess whatever medieval RICO Act would be a thing, as he is part of a mercenary guild that could be considered gang-like activity at times. He may be one of the worst ones of the group as far as moral standings, but...
And I
Not to
relay
mention-
all this... Oh, go ahead.
Not to mention his underhanded dealings even with the local town guard.
I would say I relate all this to Lucian and Vesper without missing a beat. Like, I've recited it over and over for weeks.
Did not realize you were writing a biography for me. I wonder what you will title it. Diary of a Great Man? Boris Brain Basher, An Erotic Life?
Honestly, this autobiography of the boring Boris needs to come to the end.
Well, that's rude.
So we could find out who this ship belongs to and where exactly it's going. She looks at Nina.
When
she
is
looks
your
at
wedding?
Lucian.
When is your wedding? Am I invited? Are you marrying me? Are you taking me to another land?
Nina grabs Vesper and, like, guides her towards the deckhand so they can go talk to him. Lucian, do you mind watching him for just a moment?
Of course.
Thank you.
So, about you letting me go.
Are we gonna tell them that I was lying about getting married? I thought he knew that. He seemed like a smart villain.
No, we'll just say that he's a jilted lover. I'm pretty sure the deckhand understands what's going on at this point, but if you
Oh
need
no,
to-
I meant Boris.
I don't know. I don't care to know.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Nina. I'm sorry, Vesper. This has been a long... I'll tell you more about it later, but he is someone I would like to be rid of sooner than later. Is the deckhand nearby? Unless Lucian wants to say something, sorry.
Oh, you're good. I was going to just kind of have... Well, I can wait till later. I was going to have a small chat with Boris about Karen.
No, go ahead. While they're searching for the bosun, you have a moment.
So, Boris, can you swim?
Of course I can swim. Can you?
Not really. No, the armor doesn't really help very much with that. Well, I guess. Yeah, I think maybe once we get a little farther away from shore. I don't know how good you can swim. How good do people swim? Is that a...
That's a good question. Probably as good as I fight. Do you want to find out?
Oh, you know what I could do is
Let
why
me
don't I
go.
go ahead and I think if I wrap this chain around you and tie it off, that would be enough. You wouldn't be able to swim, right?
You could find out.
Yeah,
Or-
let's do that. Let's do that. I think as long as you don't swim back to shore, I think we're fine. So I'll just yeah,
Again.
that works.
Again, you can let me go. I'll be out of your hair. Well, I'll be out of I'll be out of your way. You won't have to worry about me again. And you can just say I got the way. You can say that Boris overpowered me because I'm a weak Goliath. And then I will disappear. Or you can keep me around and then I'm going to get free anyhow. And that could be really bad for you.
I don't really like these options.
No,
But-
they're not good. They're not good, but one is much better than the others.
True, and I do appreciate you working with me. So
I'm willing to have an open mind.
yeah, I'll tell you what. You know what? I think I will. At least undo this chain around my waist and just I'll wrap the chains around you and just maybe tie this length of chain around your waist, and then I think we can probably do away with the shackles.
Sure, I'll give you
Sure.
I'll give you one for free.
So I
You're
think as the
You're only going to make this more interesting in the long run. You're just handicapping me, and I can still kill you. He kind of gives you a very cold stare, whereas he was kind of joking around. You can tell that he's serious when he says that, though.
Yeah, I think Lucian's just gonna go, well, I mean, on second thought, like, if you are gonna threaten to kill me, yeah, never mind. Offers off the table.
Again, you can just let me go, and we can disregard the previous 2 minutes of conversation.
Nah, you gotta work on your bedside table manners, guy. Like,
Again,
I'm not gonna let you go if you're threatening to kill me. I mean,
it's
you're not
a
making a good
threat.
argument
It's a
for
threat. It
yourself.
doesn't mean anything until I act on it, right? It's just words. It's only words. If you let me go, it doesn't have to come to that. We could be friends. I could even get you a job with my people.
I'll tell you what,
someone like you.
Yeah, you know, I'm just gonna read for a little bit and wait until the ladies come back, and if they want to let you through, they can let you through. But yeah, I'm just gonna read if you don't mind, being quiet for a minute.
Do you want to read to me? I'd like to hear a good story. Is it one of those
Nope.
smutty face stories? Try to look at your backpack to see what you're gonna pull out.
Yeah, so I think Lucian just pulls out a kind of nondescript leather book. No sign of a cover page or title page or anything of that nature from the exterior of the book, and he just kind of sits down on the ground with the chain still around his waist and Forrest still shackled, and just opens up the book and just kind of stares vacantly at the pages.
I would assume probably some sort of scripture-type reading from the church.
That's a good thought.
He's got to clear his head, Stay on the path.
I sit down and casually look around. Where are we going, anyhow?
I think that's where the two of them went to figure out. So we'll just sit tight until they get back.
So let me get this straight. You've taken me prisoner to return me to whoever's paying you to bring me in. And as a result, you've gotten on the ship, and you don't know where you're going.
You ask a lot of questions for somebody who's shackled up.
I have nothing else to do but to talk. So I will be talking. You don't have an answer. You've made a big mistake by getting on the ship, you realize.
Oh?
I give you a bit of a smirk before I start looking around. And Bruce, I'm going to send you a private message. There you go. But continue.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, as these two bicker back and forth, obviously, trying to, push and pull and obviously outweigh each other, you two do see the bosun. And in fact, as you're looking around the ship, there's quite a flurry of movement and things happening. And as you see the aforementioned landscape that was described earlier, that you can see, it's just basically has been covered by this black smoke cloud, and it's no longer even visible to see the town as it was instead, or the colors or the landscape. It's just black smoke everywhere from the oils and the tapestry and everything that was burning. At this point, you can probably surmise that it has spread a little bit. Not really sure how bad this has gotten, but it's quite large at this point. Of course, in your haste, as you know, you are able to secure passage aboard this sailing vessel as part of her extended crew. You've also been offered payment, actually, as part of it, and with the prospect of pocketing some coin upon your arrival at their destination. And although this is neither your end destination nor even your first choice at this point, I guess you're thinking any port in a storm, yes?
Essentially.
Yes, go ahead.
I was just gonna say if we were at the Boston and I was gonna do my little bit, but if you still got something, please go.
No. So there's a little more. So as you look around, there's not much left to see on the horizon other than the black smoke. You see the bosun and the first mate are standing on the forecastle at the elevated part of the deck on the front of the ship. The two are joined by a third of which you assume can only be their captain. The two men, who are both taller and larger than she is, appear to be apprising her of the ship, the crew, the status of said crew, and the specific accompaniment of it and all of the cargo. As you can see that their conversation quickly turns into a heated, extremely one-sided exchange, of which you quickly surmise that it is clearly about the four of you, as you catch the captain's extremely stern gaze and continual side-eye followed by her abrupt self-dismissal to her quarters.
So just so everyone's aware, Nita's cowl's still up. She hasn't taken it down since all this went down. She's just had her hood up, so it's the owlbear head. She turns to Vesper and kind of whispers to Vesper, like, ask them what they want us to do when they're ready to talk. I can steer the ship. With a little bit of a trance rest, I can mend things. I can shape water, whatever. If there's something they need to do, I could help with that.
Vesper furrows her brow a bit. It's very unexpected for Nina, who has been quite honestly leading the charge through the burning of the brothel, saving Vesper's life, running through the town from the guards, and then her standing up to Boris, that Vesper's a little confused as to why Nina has suddenly gone a little timid. But she's just going to turn to the others and clear her throat to gain their attention.
To whom? To the rest of your party?
I thought we were standing in front. I didn't catch it if they moved on. I thought the bosun was standing next to the captain.
The captain
Yes.
left. I think the other two were with us, I thought.
Yeah, the bosun and the...
So they're up on the forecastle. You are down on the deck. So at this point, you can see that the bosun has basically taken charge of telling the crew where to go, what to move, and that type of thing. And instead, you are approached by the first mate. The first mate... Continue.
Yeah, sorry, I was like, that's like... she clears her throat to kind of just get the attention of the bosun and the first mate, or, well, the first mate who's in front of them.
Yes. So he's walking up to you, and he's even larger than the bosun. You'll see that as he approaches, you can clearly make out that he is a half-orc. Pretty gruff-looking individual. Burly, broad, large individual who was basically just put in his place by this captain, who she herself is only about 5'7". So, and although has some stout in her voice, in her step, not commanding in as far as her physical presence, but clearly commanding enough. So he approaches, and he's nervously scratching his head, and he says, "Well, right then. Let's see. The good news is, you're still on board. Huh. I don't have to throw you off. However, as for this one," pointing to the clearly hand-shackled Boris. Boris, would you please describe for everyone what they see when they look to you.
If you did not hear session 0,
Exactly.
you see a man probably in his early to mid 30s, but he probably looks like he's maybe, in his late 40s with the amount of damage from fighting and years of personal abuse of alcoholism and everything else. His head is shaved on the sides and down the middle, and he has a skullet or 2 mohawks running down the back of his neck that are braided off into ponytails. Heavily tattooed with a noose tattooed around his neck, and the hanging portion running down his arm, along with a lot of other really bad tattoos. Yeah, typically prison-style tattoos that probably don't mean anything to a lot of people, but to him, they probably have meaning. More than a few scars along his body and face. Looks like a bruiser. Absolute thug.
That one, he says. We'll have to keep our eye on that one. He said, You've already met our bosun. That's we call him you can call him Quinn or Collins. He's the one who basically maintains the crew. He's the one you will answer to directly. I myself am First Mate Wilds. The woman we were talking to is Captain Scully. You would do best not to cross her. Keep your heads low. With that, he looks directly at Lucian. I cannot stress it enough. He, pointing at Boris, is your primary responsibility, as we do not have a proper brig. Lucian.
I can hear that, correct?
Oh yes, you're all within 10 feet of him now. He's walked over to you. He's addressing you.
I grin and I look to Lucian, and then I look back to him like, his? So anything I do, he is responsible for, yes?
We'll say yes.
Oh, it's good to know. Try to be on my best behavior for my good friend here who refuses to read me his bedtime stories.
Vesper is going to unsheath her loot strapped around her waist, and she's going to brandish it at Boris in this intimidating way, and just look at him and say, "You will mind your manners on this ship, or I will personally see to it that I will shave your head bald, and everyone will look at you like the not so handsome man you really are."
So you're saying I'm handsome? I wink.
Can I roll an intimidation for that?
Can I help by whispering something in her ear and pointing towards Boris's nether region with like a slashing motion?
Yes, do I get advantage on that intimidation roll?
I'm going to say no because he's all covered. He's not too worried about it. He visits brothels. So I'm going to say straight up roll against him.
Okay. That's an 18.
Do I get a roll to resist, or am I just intimidated?
No, you get a roll to resist, absolutely.
Am I rolling intimidation in return?
That would make sense, I think.
Sure.
This 5'2" girl is more intimidating than my... This 5'2" girl is far more intimidating than my mercenary goon. Ha! Fuck you! Net 20!
Play it.
22.
Dang it!
So
You
what's
try-
your response, Boris?
When she says that, I'm still not taking any of you serious smile kind of fades like it did with Lucian. And then in a very cold, dry tone, you wouldn't be the first whore that I beat to death. Get out of my face.
Oh, that was more insulting than it was intimidation.
So, actually, I think Lucian's going to step in a second here. That's all right. So, I think what Lucian would do with this back and forth, I think he's just going to pick up Boris, walk over to the side of the boat, and throw him overboard. Knowing full well that the chain is still tied around his hip. So, he's not going to go overboard. But just to, show of force, he's just going to say, this is a lot of talk, and just pick Boris up and just whoop.
So can we roll initiative because this is going to be fun?
So, before you even do that,
Okay.
the moment he puts Mr. First Mate Wild is obviously watching all of this, and he takes the two, and this is a big guy, and he takes his giant hands, and he puts one on each of your shoulders, and he brings you closer together. And he walks the two of you over to the other two. So the four of you are all within about a foot of each other. No. I don't want to get involved. This is the captain's ship. And if we don't play nice, things will end poorly for all of you. So let's just get this over with. And he looks at again at you, Lucian. He says, "You keep on him." Lucian, as he says this, would you please describe to the listeners what they would see if they saw you?
So
Physical
Lucian,
description.
yeah. So Lucian is a rather tall boy. He's there it is. So he is 7'6". Probably weighs somewhere between 250 300 pounds. He's got quite a bit of muscle underneath a full suit of chainmail. He has currently on his back a shield with some cups with orbs of different colors in them. So just like a tight shield, if you think about like the paladin kind of thing. He also has this pale blue skin with pale blue-gray eyes to match. And kind of tends to have this idle look in his eye. He kind of stares off, kind of prone to staring off into space.
Very well. He says, "Now look. You're a part of the crew now, and I expect you to behave as such. If you do, everything will go swimmingly, and the captain will have no qualms. Just remember, help where you can. Please respect the crew and her ship. Do what you're told. Don't cause any trouble." And he actually looks directly at Vesper when he says this. Vesper, would you please describe for the listeners what your character?
If you've listened to Session 0, I described her without really describing her before. She just has this enigmatic personality that tends to draw attention. But if you were to really look at her, she's around 5'5". Her hair is a mixture of sunlight and copper, and it's perfect in every little way it could be, whether it's wet from being in the water or it's being windblown. If for some reason it's perfect, and so is she. She has these honestly cobalt eyes as well there. Looks like thunderstorms, and she has ivory skin with no imperfections. But when you look at her, she seems innocent, and she has that look to her face, and You aren't sure if it could change in an instant.
Very well. He has you all huddled close, and he walks you over to the edge of the ship. The plumes of smoke have now gone into the past, and you're leaving the protected bay of where you were. You can see the last little glimpses of the various colors on the landscape. And he walks up and he stands directly behind Nina and says, Bluemoor in the autumn is one of the most amazing sights. Take a good look, because we'll be at sea for a while. He looks at all of you and he says, if you feel ill, focus on a point on the horizon. Nina, would you please describe your character?
Until this point, and for those who didn't hear session 0, Nina has been wearing a owlbear cowl and headpiece. The headpiece is sewn in such a way that where the eyes that feed into the ear points is heavily furrowed and shadowed. It's very intimidating, even though she's only about 5'3". It's the kind of look that you notice it, but you don't necessarily want to approach unless you know who she is. And being told this is going to be the last time she sees Bluemoor, a city that she's been in for several years now, helping the various Desians with either who were sick, who were injured, who needed a shoulder to cry on, the person that kids went up to asking for sweets and left away laughing and joking. She removes her head cowl as a sign of reverence to the place that she's called home. And what you see is not nearly as intimidating as what she wears. She has these deep purple eyes, the color of an indigo dusk, and long wavy black hair that sits just below the shoulders. Her skin is of a gentle olive green, complete with pointed, delicate ears, as well as a delicate frame. Her most striking portion of her body is the gilded druidic tattoos, a myriad of constellations and lines that cover every inch of her body, framing the shape of her cheekbones and around her forehead. She has a crystal gem that hangs from one ear, very small, it's like a teardrop, and on the other ear are 3 dangling stars. The rest of her garbs are tidy, if not a bit tad plain, from what you can see flapping in the opening of the cowl and of earthy tones. On her neck, though, is a thick black band, the sign of a slave, but the vertical white line down the middle signifies her freedom, and it was earned. And that is what you see of her. She turns to look at the first mate, nods her head, and says, "Thank you. We really do appreciate you allowing us onto the boat. We will not be more of a hassle, and I will make sure you can hold me responsible for anything that happens with this party."
He looks at you and nods. As you can see, that's all he was looking for. This whole time, a simple acknowledgement. He has way more to deal with, as he states. "I must return to my duties. I do thank you for listening. Please, stay out of trouble. Don't make me regret letting you on board the ship."
Nina nods and says, "Please let us know when we can be of service."
He looks around, as if looking for someone.
Yo! Crewman Spivey! Spivey!
He yells it a few more times. Eventually, a crewman runs up directly to them, salutes him, and he says, "Yes, Mr. Wild, sir. Spivey, here, sir." He says, "Spivey, show your crewmates to their quarters, the mess, and start them hauling the cargo down below. If you have any questions, start with Spivey. Otherwise, you can always go to the bosun. I'm going to go address the captain." He turns and briskly walks over to the captain's door entrance. He sheepishly knocks on the door. As the door opens, you see a quick flash of movement, causing his big burly frame to buckle almost completely over. You see an arm reach out, snatch his ear, twist it, and yank him into the room. You hear Spivey say, "Ooh, yeah, that's our Captain Scully."
If your first mate needs healing later, let me know. I have spells and that expertise. She looks very apologetic.
He may. She's quite the one. She's very low tolerance when the crew does things like that.
Well, Spivey, what would you have us do for right now? In a few hours, I'll have more spells available to me that could be more helpful with the ship, but I can help with anyone who is hurt. I can drive the ship. I know it's not the term for it, steer. What need of you have of us at this moment? Or should we settle our bound person, because she doesn't want to call him a mean name, but she wants to. Should we settle him somewhere first? I would like to put his armor and things in another location as well.
Well, first, there's not a whole lot of place he can go.
I'm fine to bind him to the mast if that works. Or keep him tied loose.
Or actually, if there's anywhere that we can tie the chain near the edge, that would be fine. How sturdy is the railing?
The railing is very, very sturdy. Very sturdy. I don't know how the captain's going to take it, having someone latched to her ship.
Well, we'll keep him with us then. We'll keep him with us. We don't want to cause more trouble.
Well, again, you can just let me go. I can make friends with Spivey here.
Yes. What? Wait.
Yes. See, Spivey wants to be friends with me. I don't know why you don't.
He turns to each of you. He turns and looks at you and says, "Where are my manners? Yes, the captain says I'm Spivey. My Mick Spivey here. That's my name." And he says, "This here's Dirk." All of a sudden, there's a guy next to him. You have no idea where this guy came from. So this guy, he literally is you think he was there. He had to have been there, but now you see him, type thing. He's a little bit shorter, gnomish, dwarfish size. You're not really sure of his where he came from. Yes, Dirk, and he says, and Dirk says, "Yeah, that one there, she's not looking. She doesn't look very good. I think she's gonna. Well."
Oh dear.
I'm so sorry. Vesper's like suddenly pale and then green and then pale again as she starts swaying against the boat sway.
Dirk, get a bucket! He runs over, grabs a bucket. He runs back. Again, you don't even see this guy leave. You just hear noises, and he's back, and there's a bucket. He's like the perfect roadie, right? And bucket's there, and he hands it to Vespa, and take her down to see Cookie. Take her down to see Cookie. He's got some things that might help. He's got some root and some things. He's do that. And Dirk shuttles, escorts you down into the bowels of the ship.
Oh, I should have known. Poor girl's been on no sea legs.
Well, hopefully a little time at sea, she'll be able to she'll get used to it. It'll be fine. So I can show you around. I can show you how the ship works. Teach you some things. Tell me what you can do.
Well, I'll need a little time to rest up, but I can mend. I can shape water. I could create water for you or disperse it. If we need cloud cover, I can do that. I could steer the ship in a crisis situation. I'm sure I could understand how the masts work if someone were to show me.
You're perfect. We'll set you with the rigging crew. You can get up there and maybe fix some of those sheets. The sheets are a little bit torn and tattered. They could certainly use a little love.
Oh, go up there? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well,
yes,
I mean,
can do that.
we can
She's
bring
shaking.
some of them down from time to time. We can help you out there because having solid sails, we can make up the time. So, and you look up and although the sheets are, they're a little older. The ship is in good shape, but things wear out, and you can tell very clearly that they definitely. So yeah, we can afford the time. We can bring them partially down. We can hoist you up there. Whatever you can do.
Yeah, Nina's not afraid of the work at hand. It's the going up part, but she tries it as best as she can.
I got it.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Dirk's pretty observant. He's like, oh yeah, no, we're good. Yeah, okay. What about you? What can you others do?
I can sit
You're part
here.
of the crew now.
I can sit here and do nothing. I'm a prisoner, so I'm doing nothing.
Yeah, that'll get you fed to the sharks. Ha ha ha.
Say it again.
It's not a threat. It's a fact. They'll just tie you to a rope and dangle you back there until you decide to do some work. I've seen it. It's not pretty. The sharks out here are quite ferocious. They're very. They like to eat.
Oh, well, I'll have to bring someone with me. And I look at Lucian, and then I look to Spivey.
How can you help? We need to know where to put you. Can you at least carry some stuff in the hold? Scrub the deck. Something.
No. He can do my work. I'm his prisoner. He can double up on his keep. That only seems fair.
He's got the
Yes.
shackles on. Yeah.
See, Spivey, I like you.
I like you too.
If you let me go, Spivey, I will help you become captain one day.
I don't know how to let. How can I let you go?
I
Where-
hold out the shackles.
It's like 20 miles to shore.
Just let me go. There's got to be a key around here somewhere.
But he cannot be back. I will do whatever work additionally for his keep, but he cannot be unshackled.
That will okay, but that's not going to go with the captain. He has to do something. She will throw him over. It's how it goes. Either you have to pay your way with labor. She believes in that. Absolutely, we are a crew. We work together. It's that simple. I'm sorry, Boris. If you don't,
So, Spivey, let me ask you a serious question.
it doesn't have to be a lot of work. Just do something.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is the captain attractive?
I prefer not to think about her that way. Because that's not healthy.
I guess I will take one for the team.
I'm not saying she is. I'm not saying she isn't. I'm not going to cross that line. Nope. She doesn't care about that. Neither does the crew. She's the captain.
Well, she's not my captain. Not yet, anyhow.
She is now. You're on board as part of the crew.
No, I am a prisoner. I am being transported. So these two, and that one who's not doing anything besides throwing up in a bucket, they can take care of my slack. That seems only fair. Like we said. As long as there's work being done, then it's fine. And work is being doubled up on.
Spivey, we understand this is your captain's ship. We would prefer not to have him go overboard until he is on land and at the gallows. But if required, you do what your captain will do what she deems best, of course.
Yes, you guys can't let anything bad happen to me.
Oh,
So,
accidents happen all the time at sea.
yes.
The first time she's looking at you in the eye, like, accidents happen all the time.
I look to the paddle.
Right.
I look to the paddle and I'm like, you have morals and standards. And you're going to let anything happen to a unarmed, helpless man like myself?
I mean, normally I wouldn't wouldn't want someone to get hurt or, for someone unarmed to be injured. But if you choose death, I can't stop you from that.
Well, I've chosen nothing.
Well, I mean, if they're threatening to kill you, and you say that you're not going to cooperate, then they're going to kill you.
No,
Like,
I'm saying
That's
that
not really my decision anymore at that point. That's your call. If you want them to kill you, you want them to kill you. That's not on me, man.
I'm saying I'm a prisoner, and unless you unshackle me, then I really
Done.
can't do anything.
I would like to now unshackle Boris.
Oh, no.
And Spivey is actually looking at you with concern, but kind of a raised brow and nods. Either, you know, he's agreeing with your motion, even though he knows he hates it, because bad guy. That's what he's seeing.
Yeah, so I think of this. I'm just gonna unshackle Boris and be like, Boris, as far as prisoner thing, I will take you under my I don't know, what's the word? We'll capture you again before we make it into port. But for the time being, consider yourself a free man. And if you choose to be difficult and they throw you overboard, then my conscience is clean.
I raise my brow as you unshackle me because I didn't expect this to happen, and now I'm going to actually need to do work, which I also didn't expect to happen.
Nina's taken 10 steps back.
He glances as you withdraw, and he kind of mumbles under his breath, "Not so brave after all, are you?"
And then I'm gonna look
and
over to Spidey and say,
something light in her hand, like she's backing up for some rage.
I have to interject. I have to do something that I was not expecting to do this early in the game. Lucian, take a point of inspiration.
"Oh, thank you."
That was, you have to admit, Johnny, that was well played. I liked it. Very nice.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Your banter back and forth, very, very solid play. And for someone as Lucian has been, a little bit wishy-washy, that step up, well done.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So Spivey is just looking on, going, "Oh, okay." And he waves it, kind of does this half wave, half salute to Boris, thumbs up type of thing, like at least you're free.
I contemplate giving Spivey the finger, even though he hasn't done anything to me. I just don't like that thumbs up. And
he's trying to win you over. You can see he's like very nervous.
I rub my wrists and kind of roll my shoulders and neck back and look to Lucian. I don't say anything. I just kind of keep him in the corner of my eye. And then I walk away from the group and go find my things and at least get a shirt on.
Yeah, your things are right over by the edge, kind of where you were. Well, they're by that crate. You kind of walked away. He escorted you. Was going to escort you to the edge. So they're kind of right in between the middle of the ship and the edge. They're just sitting in a pile there because nobody's touched them. You can see the ship's crew is moving around pretty well. They're hauling the cargo down below. There's quite a bit of it. It's going to take some time, as they were in a massive rush. I mean, we're talking things are stacked real almost up to the yard arm. There, it's the ship is lurching left and right because it's quite a bit more top heavy than normal. I mean, there's a lot to do.
All right. Once I grab my stuff, I look to Spivey. I'm like, where are we allowed to be?
Oh, so I'll show you the mess. I'll show you your quarters. Don't go in the captain's quarters. That's really, try not to go in the captain's quarters. That whole back part of the deck there, the everything underneath the poop deck. Don't go in there because that's where the officers are. We don't go in there. So that's for the officers. We go, but everywhere else pretty much. Don't take any of Cookie's stuff. He gets crabby and he'll basically sick the bosun on you and or the weapons master or whatever the arm, whatever he feels. But the crew, you don't want to take his stuff because he's really good. We probably have the best cook in the area in the whole on the seas.
So that wasn't the question, Spivey. Where are our quarters? Where can I put my things?
Yes. Well, we can easily do that. So he escorts you down the stairs. Let's. You want to go see? Should I show you the ship? Should I show you the
Let's
ship
go.
now?
No, show me
Oh.
where to put my things.
Excellent, fantastic. So he starts walking.
Nina's following at a distance.
So he takes you down the first deck, and you can see that there's a variety of things here. You'll notice that there aren't any cannons on the ship. It which is kind of interesting. It does have cargo everywhere. It's clearly made for hauling. He shows you where the crew's quarters, one of the areas for the crew quarters. All of that on that first deck is taken. He takes you down to the next level, which is where your quarters are, and he takes you down into this menagerie of paths where everything is, and there are makeshift walls and whatnot. And he brings you up to these net strung hammocks into the crew area. And you kind of basically got your own little section, if you will, of for you and your stuff. There's a kind of a mini built-in kind of chest locker thing at the base of where these are mounted. And he shows you this is where your quarters are. On your way, you passed by the galley. He showed you where you can eat in the galley and all that type of thing. And so you basically pretty quickly get the lay of the ship. It's a lot of crew quarters and a lot of cargo.
Okay. Once he shows us where we can bunk up, I put my stuff in the footlocker and lock it. And I kind of sling my armor on, put them all on my back in case I need to break something down. I'm like, go on deck, pick things up, put them below deck. And I just kind of dismiss everyone and start to work.
Ivy, now that he's doing something, can you tell
Don't
us...
talk about me when I'm gone!
Could you tell us where we're going?
Yes, absolutely. We are headed to the port town of Boven. So it's a similar port town. It's going to take us probably 2 weeks to get there, I would guess. Usually does, given the seas and whatnot. We're trying to take some of these cargo pieces into the Neo Kingdom. Bluemoor is trying to become part of the new world, and some of this stuff is their offerings, and they're trying to open up trade, and you know however, I don't know how well that's going to go now that it's on fire.
The Neo Kingdom, you say?
Yes.
I see. Well, it's good to know. Is Boven next to the port town of Bovine? I'm not familiar with it.
No, so as you know, the Neo Kingdom is kind of a northeast territory, if you will. We are on the opposite kind of down south of that. So we came out of the cove that we were in, and we're heading north. But we can't go along directly along the shore. So it's going to take us a while.
I see. Understood.
Dangerous spots over there.
Of course, the whole region's quite dicey. All right. Well, where did Vesper go? I'd really like to check on her.
Oh, we passed by her. You could go check on her. She's probably with Cookie.
Of course.
At the galley.
I see. Okay. Well, then, after I check on her, do you want me to start mending the masts right away? I'll need a few hours to prepare the spell, but I can do something in the meantime, potentially.
Yes. If you like, since you're going there, you can check on Cookie. see if he needs anything prepped for the crew. That's always a good way to do. He's always looking for help. Potato peeling, it takes time, but he's pretty adept at it, and he's always looking for help. He loves to have people to talk to, and he's kind of it's a little dark down here, but yeah, I'd check with Cookie.
Of course.
Let me know when you're ready. We'll get you on the sheets.
Of course. Lucian, what would you like to do now that you don't have someone attached to the hip?
Well, Cookie sounds like a delight. I think I would like to go help Cookie peel potatoes, I guess is the thing that people do.
Sure, absolutely. But big, strong, strapping guy like you, we could use some help carrying some of that cargo down.
All right, I can also do that. I'm not opposed to some manual labor. I think I'm going to take my my armor off, though. Maybe put on something a little lighter. But then, yeah, I'll go over and I'll start helping out with the cargo. That's no problem with me.
And I'll be up there with you. You can always just ask me questions. It's all we are pretty good group here, and so. Yeah, so they in the so you guys your quarters are on the middle deck. So you've got there's the you've got the upper deck, the main deck. Then there's the middle deck, and you guys are actually on the lower deck. So down there, you can see where they kind of converted this. It almost looks like it used to be a brig. And so you're near the back of the ship, and there are 4 lockers and hammocks there that you can basically call your own. There is a door. It locks only from the inside, so you can't really be locked out per se. They have keys for everything, but you can kind of lock it, but it doesn't really lock because there aren't. So you'll have to. You can kind of do a makeshift lock on your locker. So your armor, you may have little trouble with that. In fact, if you say that out loud, he could probably help you with what to do with that.
Yeah, I think during that, I think that was going to be in character of Lucian saying, basically telling Spivey, yeah, let me take off this armor and shield so that I'm not weighed down as he's carrying stuff around.
All right.
Yeah, that would be something I think he would be saying to Spivey.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what you could do? We have an armory. You could leave that with old One Eye.
One Eye sounds fascinating.
Yeah, no, he's got the place. He's the weapons master. He's the armor master. He's in charge of that. And if we ever, he's the guy. And that's up. That's actually it's on this level. The full armory is just down. You came down one part of the ship and went one way, and it's the other way.
Yeah, so I think Lucian's going to say, well, Spivey, yeah, why don't you take me over to One Eye? Let's get that taken care of and get to work.
He escorts you over there, and he introduces you to One Eye, who is also a larger half-orc. As you can guess, he wears a patch, and that's pretty much why they call him One Eye. He's there, and he doesn't really say much. He kind of points to the corner, and you see kind of this makeshift rack where you can hang your armor, and whatever else you might want to leave there.
Yeah, perfect. Then yeah, Lucian's gonna essentially take the armor off, put the shield up next to the armor, and just kind of wear some commoner's clothes, and be more unarmored at the time.
All right. So then he takes you, and he brings you up to the main deck, and he'll show you which things go where. He says basically follow this group of guys, do what they do, and they're just constantly picking things up, working together. It's like you're moving into a house and you're carrying cargo down to the next 2 levels. Boris, what are you doing?
Like I said, I was gonna pick things up and put them down. So I'm probably already 2 levels below you guys, carrying things. So
All right. Spivey, so you're passing by Spivey every now and then, and he's just, asks you if you need anything or whatever, and
fucking Spivey.
He chuckles. No.
Every time he asks, I
Just
repeat
no.
with the same things.
No.
Just no. Sorry, continue.
So, so you do that for quite a while. It goes, the ship is actually moving nice and smoothly. You work as a crew for the next probably, as the tide's leaving, it was starting to get later anyway, and you work for a solid couple of hours and get probably most of the cargo stowed. I would say probably 75% of it. There's quite a bit.
Is there ever a point that I'm working at the same time or in the same vicinity as Lucian, like hearing things downstairs?
Oh, absolutely. There would be times where you see him up top as you're coming, and he's gathering something up with someone, and vice versa. So you're passing by each other, and then depending on what you carry, of course, your speed would vary. So you could end up behind him, or at any point in time end up in front of him, or those types of things.
If there's ever a time I'm directly behind him, I'm going to accidentally drop my crate and try and cause him to fall down. Because
all right.
I'm a bad person.
You're just mean.
Yeah. Yes.
So there is a time where it's so we'll say that he's working carrying a crate with one of the other crew members, and you end up behind him. Lucian, why don't you give me what's your passive perception? You don't notice him though. You kind of sneak in there, Boris, as you're time this out, and he doesn't really notice you. Yeah, so I'd say that you're behind him right now.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I have a heavy crate of some sort. I lose my grip on it and let it fall down the stairs and try and take out the back of his knees.
Right. Well, I think that you probably time that pretty well. It's not really hard. Stairs, gravity, the whole thing. You've done this before because it's in your character. Lucian, why don't you give me just give me a flat con check, and we'll see if you can kind of hold it with your legs, or if your knees semi-buckle.
All right, no problem. That's funny.
It hits
the back of it doesn't even move.
it hits the stair, and kind of creaks and rolls, and does catch him just slightly in the back of the knee, like you would if you were walking behind somebody did the double knee check, right? His knees don't even flinch, and he stops. He stops dead in his tracks.
Look out! Oh, there's Butterfingers over here. I rush up. I'm like, you're okay, right, friend?
I think Lucian is just
lost my grip.
Being Lucian, I think he's just gonna go, huh? Yeah, you got to be careful on these stairs, bud. And helps him pick it up and hand it back to him.
Thank you.
Hashtag stone god.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just just be careful, man. It'd be terrible if you get hurt here.
Good looking out for me. I appreciate you.
Yeah, anytime. How are you liking the digs? What do you think of it?
Stop talking to me. Carry your thing downstairs.
All right, fine.
I mutter to myself. big bastard.
Yeah, so he's naive and like you said, the stone god. I mean, he's like nothing.
Stone Cold God is what he is. That is now his nickname. Stone Cold God.
I'm gonna have to find something heavier to drop on him next time.
He'll always just be oblivious.
Curses.
That was awesome. I liked it though. Good. All right. Let's see what else. So yeah, there's so that's those types of things. I would imagine there are a couple of the times that Lucian is behind you would have that same opportunity. But being that he's kind of naive in that, he's not thinking that way. He's like, oh, Boris, are you good? Don't drop anything.
My back hurts a little bit. It's old age.
So as the evening comes to roll around, you see you hear the bosun blow the whistle again, and all the crew stops. They finish whatever they're hauling at that time. It's gotten fairly dark, and they go on about their normal business at this time. They have the evenings for themselves, and they go see Rookie and visit the galley. They kind of come and go in shifts, and they're pretty jovial. They're a pretty nice group of guys. You can see a group of them are pretty tight. You can tell the new ones from the weathered ones. Hayes, Fog, Mullen, Lefty. These guys, they're all there and hanging out. And then you've got the new guys that are kind of all huddled together and trying to figure things out. Towards the end of the evening, they do crack into a couple of bottles of grog and pass it around for anybody that's interested in, and so they're all a nice light first hard day's worth of work. You can feel it, and you carried a lot of things, and now everybody's just kind of sitting around different areas of the ship. Some of them go up on deck and enjoy their meals up there, and that's basically the mood around you right now.
Now that we've had a chance to meet and at least see everyone here, that private message I sent you before, any chance of that happens here, or no? Secrets.
Secret messages.
You know what? I'm gonna give it a percentage chance that I've got in my head.
Okay.
Give me a D100 roll.
Done. 55.
So we'll say you and I'll give you these checks a few more times. You didn't notice anybody because I know what you're looking for, right?
Yep.
That type of thing, right?
Yes.
So you didn't see anything. It got dark. You just probably if there is, it simply wasn't noticed. So it's still possible. You're still looking.
Right. I figured it's a long shot, but you
Yep.
miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So
Yep.
just
Nope,
asking.
nope,
Don't worry about it. Nothing bad's going to happen, you guys. I'm a team player.
Fine. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
I think I know what he's looking for too. All right.
So,
Sweetie, you gotta take deep breaths.
that's exactly what I was going to do. I was going to ask how are you dealing with Vespa? Is she still sick?
Is Vesper still sick?
I would say that Vesper has gained enough control over the situation that upon wakening, she just lets it all out to have the best day that she possibly can. She just empties it all and is able to kind of stand up now. You see some color to her cheeks. Not much makes her want to throw up throughout the day, and she's able to start helping the best that she can around now.
What?
So as you've been in with Cookie, and he had some various routes. He's kind of also a bit of the ship's doctor, if you will. So he had some things to had some ginger and whatnot, some various things that to help you not only to quell the urge to vomit over everything. You've also emptied your stomach pretty well, and you're feeling. And he gave you something else, probably something with a little extra chemical in it that strengthens your constitution a bit. So you're feeling pretty good. You probably feel like you could eat with the rest of the crew or your party for dinner.
And that is what she'll do. She'll make her way with the rest for dinner.
So where do you all hang out together? Are you going up on deck?
I have 2 questions real quick. Since I was hoping to take like a train, I don't know how many hours have passed. Have 4 hours passed or more?
I would say easily 4 hours have passed.
Okay, I'm gonna update my spell list then to be what it is for like tomorrow, like to the men and do all those other things to help around the ship, so I can actually do that instead of it taking 20 minutes each time I try to do the spell. But Nina's gonna go on deck. She'll join later, but she's up on deck right now, up looking at the stars and just kind of mapping out on a little stone. She's carving with her dagger that she's looking at for a bit. But she's on deck.
All right.
I think for Lucian, is there a certain spot that might be better lit?
The deck of the ship is decently lit. There are lanterns about, but on that first level deck and everything on down below is also pretty well lit. There are a lot of lanterns and pretty easy to see.
And I think Lucian's just gonna try to find a spot where there's some light and just kind of stare, open up his book and just kind of stare vacantly into it for a while.
All right. You, Boris?
Oh, I'm definitely not hanging out with these jabronis. I am with the crew. I am eating with the crew. I am making friends with the crew.
Sure.
Laughing, joking, like nothing's happened with me getting on the ship as a prisoner.
Very good.
Hey, Bruce, while I'm up there on the deck, do I clock that crate I saw earlier?
So that crate, it's not on the deck anymore. Mm-hmm. It has been stowed somewhere, but you remember it pretty clearly because it's a box about probably about the size of a toolbox.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A good sized toolbox, but it's a box that was nailed shut, but somebody hadn't nailed one of the corners down, and so you could partially see inside.
What did I see inside again?
Well, at first glance, it was some sort of silverish metal flash, is what you saw.
Oh, okay. When I'm done carving my little stone for my pocket, could I just casually make my way down to the hold?
Of course.
If someone stops me, obviously I'll stop, but I just want to see if I can get down there without being stopped.
No one. People see you. Mm-hmm. They tell you to come and have a drink with them. She
smiles politely and says, "In a moment, of course, yes."
They wait. You're part of the crew as far as they're aware. Mm-hmm. So you can pretty much go anywhere you need. It's expected that, that you behave then as part of the crew, that you are part of the crew, and that's what they see.
Perfect. I'm heading down to the hold, and I want to look for that box.
How long are you looking? And give me an investigation, and and tell me which deck you're applying it to.
I'm gonna go.
So you have you have basically. So I'll give you. We'll see how good your rolling is right now. So you can have. We'll do the middle deck, and the lower deck, and I am assuming you're going to spend a decent amount of time. So whatever you tell me.
Maybe like 45 minutes to an hour before it looks a little suspicious as to why I'm back there.
Per deck or in total?
I'm just gonna do the middle deck tonight.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a solid investigation roll then. I have a
Investigation's
DC
not.
in.
Oh God!
Yeah, you spend a solid. You spend that 45 minutes to an hour, and you are pretty certain that box is nowhere to be seen.
Certain as one can be, of course. With the audience, just so you know, I rolled a 3. So, all right, cool. I will go join the rest of the party goers and go have a small drink and a little bit to eat. As far away from Dorks as I can get.
Yeah. Lucian, you're reading, and Vesper, you are eating somewhere.
Yes, currently sitting down in the galley, eating some of Cookie's hearty seasick soup. And she's taking a moment to just watch everyone. She's curious. She's laughing at some of the jokes the crew members are saying. She's looking over and, seeing Boris kind of mingling and easily falling in with the crew. But is there anyone who seems not with the same energy? You mentioned before that everyone on the ship generally gets along. This isn't like a scurvy pirate ship of criminals and horrible men. This is just a well-oiled machine. So is there anyone that stands out from this energy?
Well, two things. First, you kind of get this feeling. Again, I mentioned some of the names of some of the other crewmates that have been around for a while. Like I said, Hayes, Fogg, Molin, Lefty Bones. There are a few others. But Spivey seems like he's been around the ship probably the longest, or at least he and Dirk have. So if there was anybody that you'd probably be able to perceive that he'd be the guy to kind of give you a little insight into that, right? So if you went and talked to him, he's pretty open. He is your looking glass into the crew, if you will. Second,
sure. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go. I'll wait.
No, go ahead. I want you to go first.
So I will, in that instance, is Spivey eating down in the galley.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
He's sitting right next to Dirk and another crewman. They seem to be having a bit of an intense conversation, if you will, to be honest.
Oh, well, that's never stopped her. Vesper is going to pick up her bowl and she'll walk over to their table and clear her throat and just kind of like look up with those doe eyes and just say, "Excuse me, can I join you?"
So
I'd like Nina to clock this, by the way. Just watching Nina, Vesper out of the corner of her eye.
Absolutely. Spivey, hearing your voice and of course recognizing it, turns around and looks at you, and his eyes look right at your doe eyes, and he's clearly flabbergasted. Gee, move over. And they make this spot. He makes a spot right next to him. He pushes Dirk right off the bench.
Vesper is going to slide over and sit right there next to Spivey, and she'll just kind of lean forward so she can look around Spivey at Dirk and bat her eyelashes and simply say, "I'm so sorry for almost throwing up on you. It doesn't seem like traveling by ship agrees with me."
You don't have to worry about that. Dirk throws up every day. I don't even know how he weighs so much as he does. He's look at him. He's like a big fat brat.
He's trying to stammer for us. He's like trying to play it cool, but of course he's failing miserably.
Oh, I forgot. Again, my manners. This is Rise. Rise. He kind of, we're kind of like the trio of guys. We hang out and we talk about things, and so if I'm not around and you need help, you go look for Dirk, and if you can't find Dirk, he'll find you, and if you still can't find him, you look for Rise, and Rise he'll help you out.
Vesper's gonna extend a hand out towards Rise and look at him expectantly, her eyelashes fluttering. Oh, it's so nice to meet you as well.
Rise, who's his eyes have been not looking at you this entire time. He's been conducting himself, if you will, in about a gentlemanly manner that he could sum up, and he stands up and he grabs your hand and he takes a knee and he looks directly into your eyes and says, "The pleasure is all mine." And he gently kisses your hand and he sits back down.
Vesper's used to this, so she doesn't blush or flush. She simply picks up her spoon and starts sipping very ladylike at her bowl of soup, and she cocks her head towards Spivey since he seems to have a wandering mouth, and just simply says, "So Spivey, tell me more. How long have you been with the ship? It seems like you enjoy sailing. You have your, what did they call them? Sea legs?"
Oh yes. Well, I've been a part of this ship's crew as long as the captain's had the ship. I think it's been 13 years now. I think they all run together. But yeah, it's been about that. The ship is older than that though. It's been around for quite a while. I would say probably besides myself, the only other person that might be longer would be maybe the helmsman. He's probably been here longer, and he's pretty. He's an interesting individual. Mr. Parrish, yeah, he knows his way about the ship. I think he might have. I don't know how long he's been here.
Vesper's going to lift a hand and let her fingertips flutter along Spivey's arm as he's talking. And it's almost like she's gently stroking his arm as he's continuing his conversation. And she'll go, mm-hmm, and oh, as he talks. But finally, when he stops, she goes, "Oh, okay, Mr. Parrish. I will have to talk to him, but I want to talk to you more, Spivey. Whatever made you want to become a seaman?"
Well, I don't. I've always loved the sea. I've been so when I've always, and this ship has had many stories, and it's got a great history. So when the opportunity came up to sail with Captain Scully, I was on board. I was on board. I was the first one. Well, besides, of course, Mr. Parrish. But and so this is a great ship. Did you know that this ship was originally it was a pirate?
Pirate ship?
Yes. Yes.
There was pirates?
Yes.
Oh, Spivey, are there any more pirates on this ship?
Boy, I hope not. I hope there aren't, because if you look over there, you can see where there used to be holes there where the cannons used to be. You can see them, and so they decommissioned the ship. They captured it. The Royal Navy, the King's Navy, they captured the ship and they decommissioned it. But then they recommissioned it as a prisoner transport. They did, and it was and that was a while ago. But that didn't go very long. So then there weren't really that many prisoners, and it didn't really make that much sense. So they decommissioned it again, and then they gave it to Captain Scully. And the captain, she's had it since then. She's been its real true captain, and the crew follows her very well, very very faithfully.
Well, you can go.
I was going to ask, how close? Can I overhear the conversation, or can I read lips at this distance?
Well, they're kind of a bit in a circle because she's
Got it.
pretty enticing, and they've at least a 3/4 circle. Spivey is pretty, he's audible, but you could probably catch bits and pieces if you're looking for them. So it depends on kind of where you are.
I'm kind of wondering if I heard the word slave, because then I want to kind of clock the room and see if anyone's got a band of a slave on them somewhere.
You heard prisoner.
Prisoner. Okay, never mind. I heard slave ship or something like that, but I thought, never mind.
If I said slave ship, I meant prisoner ship. So we hold prisoners.
Got it, never mind.
But these things could have sparked you at all, and you're all kind of within. Each of you, even Lucian, could hear things.
Spivey. You
could recognize voices, that type of thing. You probably recognize Vesper's voice. You're definitely hearing chuckles and laughs and whatever and you definitely hear Spivey. Yeah, exactly. So you are aware of the conversation, and you're aware of where she is and so that type of thing.
Got it. So then, if I can just see her then from where I'm sitting, then I'm gonna say Nina is very interested in watching a master at work, because that's what she is at her craft right now, is a master, just going through these men. She's just like that is amazing. How did she do that? So,
Vesper's going to pick up her bowl and she'll look at Spivey and say, "This was such a wonderful conversation. We are going to have so many more until we reach our next destination. You are just so charming, Mr. Spivey. You make the dreadful days at sea feel so nice." She'll look at Dirk and apologize once again about him having to feed her buckets, and then to Rise, she stands and she kind of does this little curtsy because she's wearing a dress, and just gonna walk back over to her friends and sit down across from Nina and clear her throat a bit.
Dirk says, yes, no, you come talk to me anytime. It's all good, anytime.
And as you stand to walk back over, you run directly into, as you turn, you walk directly into someone.
Oh. Is this someone tall?
This someone is tall.
Vesper's going to crane her neck back up and up and up until she looks at the face.
So you'll see an individual that you hadn't seen before. He's dressed in full plate, minus a helmet. He brandishes, he carries multiple weapons, and is definitely here with purpose. This is what you see if you look in Roll20. It is a very large man, human, as I described, and he's standing there looking directly at you as if you are in his way. And then, out of nowhere, he just starts laughing. Look at you. Sorry, I think I'm in your way. And you see him sidestep out of your way. And what might your name be?
Vesper Valdier? She says, almost as if it's a question.
Well, hello, Vesper. I'm Deckard Morat. If you ever need anything, you come and find me.
What would I need from you, Mr. Morat?
Oh, who knows? It's a big ship.
I understand that it's a big ship, sir, but what exactly are you offering to help me with on this large ship full of other people who have offered me help?
Why, I think I could offer you a nice walk on the deck underneath the stars, maybe some companionship for the evening.
Nina is starting to slowly stand up, and there is a feralness about her face. Y'all have never seen Nina angry, and it looks a little animalistic as she's staring at the back of this guy's head.
Vesper is going to straighten herself up, and this will be, for the audience, one of the first times that veil of innocence slips off of her face, and her eyes harden, her jaw tightens, and it doesn't change the alluring way she appeals to others, but instead she's going to rise to that full 5'5" and look up at Mr. Morat, and her voice deep as she says, "There isn't a star in the sky I would want to watch with you, Mr. Morat, so I would kindly ask that you move on as I pass. If you don't, I have other ways to keep you from me."
Again,
Is that loud enough for everyone to hear?
I would say so. His belly laugh probably quieted the room.
Boris bursts out laughing at that point. Ha ha! 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 And I just laugh at this guy because fuck.
And he's laughing. He joins you. He loves it. He's like, ha ha ha. Ah, no problem. I've already stepped out of your way, dear. Unless there's something holding you here. And he just kind of saunters on by and goes up to Cookie and, gets some food.
Nina slowly sits back down.
As you were standing right there, and you have been astutely watching, you'll notice that he grabs 2 servings in 2 separate dishes. And he says to everyone, and he's, "Have a good evening, everyone." And he walks, and he walks back up the stairs, and out of sight.
Nina's gonna wait a couple seconds, maybe a minute or so, and get up and kind of just stroll casually walk out, look at Vesper, just let her know she's heading that way to see where he went.
I look to whoever's next to me. I'm like, "Who's that? What's his deal?"
Give me. Let me see. We'll see. So, which group of the crew are you with?
Probably the new guys because they're probably easier to influence than the ones that have already formed a clique.
Right. So they look at you and they're wide. Their eyes are very wide. They're like, "Oh, I didn't even know he was on board. Who's that guy? I don't know. Who's that guy? Do you?" And they're like looking at you, thinking that you're kidding with them because they're looking at you like, "Who is he?"
Fucking Spivey. Who's that guy?
And he's looking around. And he gives you the thumbs up.
I give him the finger, and then I point to the stairwell with the finger that I'm giving him. Who's that?
Who? That's Deckard.
That means nothing to me.
I don't really know much about him. I know that he's not part of the crew.
Is he working?
Oh, he's not part of the crew. I would say that he's working. Yeah.
Have you seen him work? I haven't seen him work. Then I start getting everyone riled up that this guy isn't working.
Oh, he's working, but he doesn't work for us. He's not a part of the crew. He doesn't work for the captain.
Who's he work for?
I'm guessing the one somebody else.
Fucking Spivey, you're not being much help here.
I'm sorry, but I've only seen him. I know he's tough. That's about all I know.
Yeah? Is he tougher than me?
I would never presume that. You're pretty tough. And he gives you a thumbs up.
Thank you for noticing. I give him a thumbs up.
But I'll look into it for you. I'll see what I can find out.
You do that. Thank you, Spider. You're a good man. Fuck you. I go back to laughing and drinking with everybody else.
No.
And he looks sheepishly around to the other guys, shaking his head back and forth.
So, can I semi-follow Morat? I just want to see where he goes up deck. If he's heading towards the captain's quarters, if he's heading just to stand up there and eat 2 meals. Just curious.
Absolutely. So you see him walk up the stairs, and you get up to leave. Before you do that, Lucian, what's your reaction to this? Anything?
So I think what Lucian's going to be doing during this time is really not reacting to anything. Just kind of sitting there, still just staring vacantly into his book. Still kind of aware of what's going on, but just kind of ignoring it for now. I'll
tell you this.
I think he might look up
notice,
to me.
You did notice and were able to appreciate the quality of his armor, though.
I might look to Nina and see if I can make eye contact to see if she wants me to follow her, or if she just to kind of like look to see if she gives me any direction.
I'm gonna point 2 fingers and mouth the word minute. Hopefully he understands it means give me 2 minutes. And so he's going to start mouthing. If you look to him, you'll see him go 1 with the pippy, 2 with the pippy, 3 with the pippy. Is it in giant or is it in common?
I'm going to say it's in giant. In giant, you just see his lips start moving, and you can maybe people might think he's chanting or reciting something if they don't understand him. But yeah, he'll start sitting there just kind of mumbling to himself.
And she starts kind of like doing the same mouth movements of in giant back to him, but like starts going upstairs.
And Vesper, what are you doing?
I'm actually going to sit down in front of Lucian, and Vesper's just going to fill in what she learned from Spivey, which through the rambling, she was able to discern that he was appreciative of Mr. Parrish, and Mr. Parrish had worked there before him with the captain. So if we were to get information about who we really were on this ship with, it would have to be to a Mr. Parrish.
Okay, right.
I think Lucian is going to sigh and go, and then put his hand on his head and just go, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Lucian, please, I don't think she actually meant 1 minute. But listen, you are easy to talk to. The men are getting quite flustered around me. Maybe you can look into who the helmsman, Mr. Parrish, is in his past, and maybe even get to talk to him yourself.
Do we have any... yeah, okay. I think he's going to kind of just nod, and with the information he's got at this point, he's going to go, okay. In a little bit. 1 with the pippy, 2 with the pippy, 3 with the pippy.
Vesper just sighs and goes back to drinking her soup.
He's
so focused on counting. He had to start over. This whole thing has happened. He's restarted 4 times, and every time, and he's trying to really do what you asked.
Oh, bless his heart.
So their little exchange happens as you stealthily, nonchalantly, we'll say, walk up the stairs Deckard, he's in front of you, and he's walking pretty heavily, so your footfalls are easily masked by his own. You see him walk up to that deck, and all the way down to the very front of the ship. There is clearly a door, and you see him, and he's a pretty big, boisterous, loud individual who has no problem with that. Very much like Boris, to be honest. But
is he heading to is this the captain's door he's heading to?
No. So
okay.
So that's up above, below the poop deck. This is so there's like these On the main deck, there's the where all the officers and the captain's quarters are on top of that. So there's like this 1/4 or 1/3 of the deck, probably a quarter of the deck on the back side is where the captain's quarters and that type of thing is, so that they can quickly address, because that's where the helm is and everything as well. And then there's the front of the ship, where it's also a raised deck. So these two parts are raised above the main deck. That's where all the cargo was.
Okay.
He's on the deck below that, the middle deck.
Mm-hmm.
And you and the rest of the crew were on the lower deck. So he has moved up from the lower deck back up to the middle deck and to the front of the ship.
Got it. Okay.
So you've got kind of a mental picture of the layout of the ship. Yep. So you see him walk up to the door, and very out of his character that you've seen so far, respectfully knocks exactly 3 times on the door. The door opens. You see him nodding, and then you see him shake his head. He never says a word.
Mm-hmm.
You see him deliver one of these portions, one of these utensils, one of these bowls of food and bread, and it looked similar to what you had, but better. So there was it was you, from what you could see as he kind of walked by, because again you're watching this, you can see that it was good. What you had was really, really good food. I mean, almost.
But this
amazing.
is like a tier or 2 above what I've got. Okay. If not
or more.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a reason Cookie's on this ship. We'll put it this way, and there's a reason this guy's on the ship. So he's taken that and he delivers it. All you see is his hand disappear into the doorway and then come back out empty. And then a couple more nods, a couple more shakes, and the door closes. And then he turns around and goes into a room across the hall from there. The narrow hallway that there is.
Okay. Is there anyone else on this deck right now?
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of closed off crew quarters here and there. Mm-hmm. There might be 1 or 2 people that are behind the doors, if you will. But for the most part, you're the only visible person.
Got it. Okay. I'm gonna tuck that away for. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
No.
You tuck it away.
Finish what you were gonna say.
I can't because it'll play off of what you're saying. And so on this middle deck, though, just to let you know that there at the very front, the stairs are also kind of at the front. So you kind of followed him around, and you're peering around the corner because the main part of this deck opens up into kind of an opening seating area, cargo area that normally would be filled with people. The crew quarters are near the back, but so it looks like that this would normally be filled. But because there was so much jolly things happening downstairs, most of the crew's downstairs.
Got it. I'd like to take a quick. I just want to make sure no one can see me right now.
No one can see you right now.
I'd like to wild shape into a rat. And I'd like to get closer to that door.
So, as you wild shape, that's where we end the session tonight.
Ooh.
What's going on behind the door? I don't want to wait a week.
I know. I was like, maybe I can wild shape real quick.
Bullshit, Bruce.
You know what they say? Leave them want more. So,
That's my notes. Lucian actively counting at end of session.
Exactly. So that was awesome. And like I said, that is the end of Chronicle 2, Session 1 for Dorks Are Dangerous. Please join us after this for our Table for D4, where we get to discuss player interactions, insights, developments, story plots already, anything they've figured out, and just general boisterous and laughing.
Exclusive for our Patreon subscribers. So hit us up on Patreon at patreon.com/dorksaredangerous, and you can get all of the previous session, or table for D4s, along with all the future ones coming up as well.
So on behalf of myself, Jonny, Dave, Kaylie, and Kirsty, thank you for joining us.
Remember, Dorks are dangerous. Bye!
Bye!